Hey guys, what's up? So, I'm finally mostly over my sinus infection. Enough that I feel that I can get on here and I can talk and it shouldn't be that distracting. I got a little bit of stuffiness and whatnot still kind of messing with me, and I got this little cold thing that happens every now and then where I cough once every couple minutes or whatever. But for the most part, I'm recovered and I'm way behind on getting to talk about this. There was a huge MOTU drop. And I didn't get to say a word about it. Because I was sick. So let's talk about it. So what am I talking about? As if somehow somebody found this video and didn't already find the other videos that came out that basically made deals with Mattel to specifically have this information before anybody else, as if you found my video before you found theirs. Somehow, this picture right here, this is what I'm talking about. There was a massive release of MOTU. And when I say massive, I mean massive. I'm talking, this is the biggest release I have ever seen in like a literal toy line. I've never seen this kind of thing before where they give us this much reveal ever. In the time that I've collected in my life, I see wave reveals. 6, 7, 8 figures, maybe a Build-A-Figure, a line, even if it's a big line. Even think about the original Masters of the Universe line when it was very first revealed. You're talking about like the castle and a couple figures, and they were like, collect them all, it's going to be awesome. But this is crazy. And this comes right after the whole thing with a certain channel that I spoke about that was like, hey guys, it's over. It doesn't seem very over. However, I will say that I'm a little confused as to what's going on store-wise. They are clearancing things out like crazy. My Target currently, I just went to 2 Targets. Okay? I've been to 3 Walmarts and 2 Targets in the last 2 days. And I was a little confused that Walmart seems to have dropped its stock completely. 2 of the Walmarts I went to had nothing, not even one single item. The other Walmart had like 2 pegs and like some of those, like a couple Stridors that they didn't seem to be able to get rid of. That was it. And the Target that I went to this morning, the Target that I went to last night was just as bad, so I'll just compare the 2 of them as if they were one store. There was one peg, which had Origins. And it was all stuff they couldn't get rid of. It was Buzz Off, Sorceress, and a naked Stridor. And I looked at that, and I was half tempted to buy the Sorceress, because I was like, maybe I could try my hands at a custom, like if I buy her or whatever, but I'm also not going to pay that money right now when there's a lot of figures I don't have, and I'd rather get those on the shelf before I worry about customizing. I don't know, it's just the way I feel. So then, I got to looking, and like I said, there was that one peg. There was one other peg at Target for Masterverse. At one location of Target, there were like the bottom, the rack where there's an actual rack. There was a line of King Grayskulls. That was it. There was nothing on the peg. Then today, I checked out this other one, and I was kind of stupefied when it had one peg, and on that peg was one New Adventures He-Man. That's it. And down at the bottom, on the little rack where there was just like a spot to kind of put something that they kind of shoved in there, there was a trap jaw. And that's it. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Behind the trap jaw, when I moved him, there were two bads. There we go. That was it. That blows my mind. And I can't help but feel like you made this kind of reveal. Are the stores clearing out for the idea that all this is about to hit them? Or are we about to see this entire line go online? I don't know what's happening. This is really weird. I've never seen this with a toy line before, where they could announce all of this, and then the store has literally nothing. And doesn't look like it's prepping to get anything either. I don't know. It's a really weird time. And almost the perfect time for me to have started transitioning into online shopping, because I don't know where this is going. Who knows? Maybe he's right and its retail presence is going to disappear sometime in April. I don't know. I just think it's really strange. That's what I'm saying. It's all that I'm actually saying, is that I think it's really strange. But since we got this massive reveal, let's go on Big Bad Toy Store. That's specifically where I'm going to go. I just figured it would be easy that way. And let's check out pictures of these guys, because I kind of want to put my thoughts in on each of these figures as well. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. Chances are this could be a long one. Buckle up. Here we go. Okay, so here we are, Big Bad Toy Store. And we'll just start at the top and start going down. So we're going to start on the Origins stuff. And right off the bat, we have Spikor. Okay, Spikor, it's not that I dislike him at all. He's pretty solid. I think his trident hand could be cooler, maybe a little sharper. Maybe the idea was that this was a toy. And of course, when it comes right down to it, the idea is that hopefully kids will buy this. It kind of extends. But I don't know. It just seems like it would have been cooler if it would have been a little sharper looking. I don't know. I like the vac metal effect. If we actually get that, that's pretty cool. But in the long run, Spikor, he's a little goofy to me. I don't know. If I see one out in the open, he very well might catch my attention. But he is definitely not in my top chosen. Like, at all. He's not something that I'm absolutely gunning for. But he's not a bad figure by any means. I actually think he's really sharp. Ignore that. So let's check out this guy. First, this guy, Squeeze. This dude is pretty cool. Okay? This is something that I do actually think is neat. First off, we're entering the Snake Man, and that's a lot of cool designs that you can get out of something like this. And this guy's got this Mr. Fantastic, huge, crazy, long arms, which very much looks like a wire toy. I heard a couple people say that his shoulders look like they actually have the shoulder articulation. I don't know if that's what that is. As I look at it, it kind of looks like sculpting to me, but who knows? Maybe those are actually shoulder articulations. I'm not 100% sure. I like his head. It's really solid. His legs are fine, to be fair. I don't hate his armor. I really like this arm effect. And I can't help but wonder if it I don't know. I'm looking at it right here and I don't think that's arm articulation. I don't think those are shoulder articulations. I think he's sculpted that way. Like, especially look at, because his arms are always pointed out. Always, no matter what. Which means that I don't think that's shoulder articulation. I don't think that's swivel point articulation where you could take the shoulders in. I don't think that's how that is. Otherwise, you could have swapped his arms, and maybe you can. Maybe you could swap his arms with other Snake Men and create all kinds of things like that. But he's pretty cool. For what he's worth, he's pretty cool. Am I a 100% going to buy on Squeeze? I don't know. Pretty cool, pretty solid. He's a high probability, but I'm not 100% sure. We have a Masters, we have an Origins Eternian Guard Infiltrator. Now this is an Eternian Guard who is actually a Snake Man. And for what it's worth, it's the Eternian Guard with a different paint scheme. That's really what it is. So in the end, it's just an Eternian Guard with a different paint scheme. He's green, And because he's green, that's kind of cool, because if you're playing the idea, then you got a Snake Man thing. And he comes with this, he comes with one of the snake wand things. The snake wand things. And all his weapons seem vac metal. The armor is not a vac metal, but the other stuff does seem vac metal. He seems pretty solid, but if you're the kind of person that's all off on like just a repaint, this guy's, if you see him, maybe that's cool. But really, I wouldn't say that this is a solid army builder, and I wouldn't say that necessarily, how do I put this? I'd say that if you have a couple Eternian guards, this guy's worth it. Because it is kind of cool to have the one guy that if somebody's kind of looking at your shelf, they'll notice that when he's in with the Eternian guards, there's one dude that stands out. He's a little different. He's awkward. And you could be like, that's because that's the infiltrator. He's not actually one of the Eternian guards. That's a cool little talking point for your collection in general. Otherwise, I don't know that I'm saying buy on this one, but it is a pretty cool concept in general. It is a pretty cool concept. Okay, so let's see here. Going down from that, we have an Origins Snake Armor Man-at-Arms. And this is actually kind of cool. But I will say, it's mostly just a repaint. He's got a new item. I don't know if this is something that clips on in place of his hand or what. His weapons have been painted different. His armor's been painted different. But he really is just Man-at-Arms. I mean, looking here, right here, this is the new thing he got. He got this grabby arm thing. Kind of cool. The silver armor, kind of cool. But like I said, mostly a repaint. Is he cool? I mean, yes. He is pretty cool. But the more we justify repaint, the more it does make it seem like the line is in some kind of trouble. But you could argue that MOTU is mostly repaint and reuse, and it's what you get out of it imagination-wise that works. And if this is a cool idea for you, then maybe this is the Man-at-Arms you want. I'm not putting this down. I'm saying that for the most part, this is really just a repaint of what we already have. And it's more an imagination piece with one extra accessory that kind of makes him something bigger. So, am I saying buy on that? I don't know yet. That's a rough one for me. Maybe if I seen him in the wild and he was really cool and he caught my eyes, sure. Let's check out Slamurai. Now, Slamurai is pretty much, once again, a repaint of the Ninja Assassin, or what used to be Ninjor until they lost the trademark because that name was bought up by Power Rangers and then they couldn't use it type of thing. But this dude is kind of cool. As a fan of Storm Shadow, I would say, yeah, of course, he's cool. He's white-clad 1980s ninja, which, yeah, that's pretty neat. He's got the bow and stuff like that. But all in all, he's not a guy that I'm absolutely running out to buy. He's not. I can't help but notice that the Origins stuff is not getting me too much here on any kind of absolutes. Here we have a black Horde Trooper with a snake head put on it. That's pretty much what it is. Which, however, the Origins Snake Trooper, I'm going to tell you, even though that's really all this is pretty cool. This one has my attention. Yeah, it legit does. I don't know why exactly this has my attention when I just called it out for basically being a repaint with a head swap, but it is pretty cool. And maybe that's because I kind of like this stuff. I like Stormtroopers and things like that, and the Horde Troopers, especially after just reading through the comic book. The comic book stuff really blew me away with this. That DC run with all the Horde Troopers and the Horde invasion and everything, and seeing a couple of Snake Men in Horde armor, black Snake Men, Horde armor type things. I actually like this a lot. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it gives me the idea that the Snake Men didn't just invade but it invades like the Horde troopers, and so it becomes a problem for the Horde troopers. There's the puppy. Puppy wants out, and it also becomes a problem for the Eternian Guard and things like that. I had to let the puppy out. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's keep going here. He might be a buy for me. Even though he's real simple and I could call him out the same as I did the others, he might be a buy for me. So now we have Origins Snake Tila. Now Snake Tila, you would imagine immediately is a buy for me. You would imagine so, because I like Tila. Here's my problem. I think I needed a little more with this. She gets the same weapons, but a different color. And they really just took... Her body's different. Her upper torso body is different. Which leads me to think this is more of like a 2002, 2003 Tila. And that maybe we could be seeing an actual 2002, 2003 Tila release. Which, personally, I would tell you they need a longer ponytail. If they're going to do that, they need to really go out of their way to kind of play with the hair. But for the most part, also the boots. The boots are different. Like I said, this feels like they had the 2002 Tila ready to go. And instead, they painted her with lizard color stuff. I feel like she should have had scales and whatnot. Not just paint, but scales. I feel like this one doesn't thrill me. Is it cool? And would I get it? Probably yes. They probably got me here just because it's Tila. It's a warrior woman thing, and I could use it, and it would be really cool. I actually do feel like it is a pretty cool design, and there's not a whole lot of lady people to choose from in the Origins line for Masters of the Universe. Not really. There's the Sorceress and variants of, Tila and variants of, Evelyn and variants of, She-Ra. That's it? There's actually a high probability that that's it. So, yeah, this does kind of get my attention, but I'm going to go ahead and call it out and say that there should have been more than just a paint scheme on this one. They should have tried something to really make her Snake Tila. But on a plus side, since all they did was paint job, and if they say they don't go any further, and they never finish out a 2002 Tila, you could just buy this, and you don't have to worry about painting over the scales, because I don't think they're etched in at all. I don't think they're part of the actual deco. I think that very much it's just paint on top of a normal Tila sculpt, so you do just fine customizing this to be your 2002 Tila. You could do that. So that's a plus, if nothing else. Okay, going a little further, we have Origins King Randor from 2000X. This guy's cool. This guy's cool. Young Randor, this is awesome. I like that he has the two different legs. That's cool. I like his scepter thing. And look at that. That's touching the ground. You know what I've said. I've said it time and time again. These scepters, these wands, they need to be long enough to touch the ground while the character is standing there, or it's not long enough. That's the way I've always felt about these. He's pretty cool. This guy is solid for what he's worth. He's a big, rugged king man. I like his blue cape. It's the same one, just painted. It's not red or whatever. You know, we've seen this cape a couple times, but this'll work. I like his armor. I like basically everything about him, actually. He's solid. He's probably a buy, 100%. This guy's a royal domineering figure that would be cool in the collection. Going a little further down, we've got Origins Deluxe Dragon Blaster Skeletor. This guy is a buy. This guy's a buy. His one armor piece here makes him seem bigger, like literally bulkier than he's ever been in Skeletor form in Origins, which I kind of like that. I don't know why. I like his chains that are all over him, because he's actually chained a dragon to his back, basically, and tamed a dragon is what's going on here. And then, I don't know if this dragon's actually going to do the squirt thing, I would find it hard to believe that he would. Maybe. But I would be awfully surprised. He comes with a power sword. So he comes with the chain, the power sword, the dragon, and this lock thing. So it kind of looks like he's locked himself up with this dragon and forced the dragon to kind of work for him, shooting fire off his back and stuff like that. I see a little hole here, which makes me wonder if he really is able to squirt water. I don't know. If so, that's the first time we've seen that kind of action feature on these. That'd be the first time I've seen that for this. Not impossible, though. Would that be cool? Would it be good? That part I don't know. I've said this a couple times. Sometimes action features are neat. And I've done an entire video on whether or not I prefer action features or action effects. And personally, I lean towards action effects because as an adult collector, I don't necessarily love the idea of filling him up with water or something like that, and then, say you don't think about it, you squirt him a couple times, you put him on the shelf, and then like you get mold inside of it or something like that. I'm not 100% on board with that kind of thing, or if the action feature default messes up, screws up the arms or something in the figures. I prefer, like with Kamo Khan, he has like a blaster effect, and I also tend to like effects because then you can use those for other things and you can play around with the photography aspects and things like that. That's what I prefer, but overall, this Skeletor, this is a buy. So I have two pretty much guaranteed buys, I believe, so far in this whole line. Snakeface. Snakeface is a buy. 100% he's a buy. I have no idea why, but this dude is awesome. I can't explain it. I can't explain why. I like his arm where he's got the snake that's actually coming up his arm. I like that this wand looks best in his hands. I like that his shield is actually like snakes. I like that his face reminds me of the Medusa enemy from the original first Castlevania, the head that flies around the room. I like everything about him. I like his armor. I like his ancient... I like his... he doesn't have the fuzzy shorts. He has scale armor shorts. That's cool. I like all this little effect right here. Like the warts and crap like that, or scales or whatever that's going on in his arms. This guy is awesome. He is unique. He is solid. He is really cool. Every aspect about him is something that I like and I think is visually cool and I think works very well for the Snakeman stuff in general. This guy right here is a buy. This guy's cool. The Snakeface figure is coming off really solid. This is neat. Origins, specialty, Snakeman exclusive. Yeah. This is cool. The Snakeman 4-pack is going to be sick. It's going to be sick. But that guy right there, blue-skinned, awesome, with a snake staff, Kamo Khan, best figure here. Best figure here. If I was telling the story, that guy would be the leader. He would be like a general, a second in command, a big deal. Just saying, these things are avatars of the imagination. I've argued that time and time again, that's what He-Man is about. It's about looking it over visually and telling a story off what you see immediately. He-Man, from day one, was built on barbarian techno-fantasy, D&D, imagination, avatars of the imagination, malleable to what you see is the storyline you create. And this is awesome. This Snake Hunter He-Man here that actually has this wicked power sword, all this extra armor and everything because they're poisonous and they're deadly. He actually reaches out, grabs you with that, and then can cut you or whatever. We got a red Snake Man, a green Snake Man, and this awesome blue Snake Man. And the blue is the coolest one. And he has that back tail. So he has that awesome, whiplash backtail thing that's going on, elongated neck, the blue Kamokan head, like the snake scepter thing, the staff. He's the coolest thing here. He's the coolest thing here. I would buy this pack just for him. Just for him. I'm not saying the He-Man is not cool. He is pretty cool. But that guy right there, he's the absolute standout of the entire pack. He's the star of the show as far as I'm concerned. This right here is a buy. It has two very solid figures, one amazingly solid figure of those two solid figures, and then the other two are passable, kind of cool figures that you can use. Pretty much just add them to the other Snake Men and you're just kind of army building. And the cool thing about army building with the Snake Men is that you could just keep buying different Snake Men and then you're army building and they all stand out and you can all kind of get your own stories off just kind of looking through the troops and being like, this guy, this guy, this guy. And this is really cool. The Snake Men are cool because they're natural army builders and they all look fantastic differently instead of army builders like when you build the Eternian Guard, they're all Eternian Guards. And when you army build with things like the Horde Troopers, they're all silver Horde Troopers, unless you get a red one, unless you get a black one, unless you get a blue one, whatever. You get the idea. But army building in the Snake Men is vast and different as it goes, and that's really, really cool. Now we're on to the two absolute stars of the Origins here. 1. Origins Skeletor and Screech exclusive 2-pack. These are absolutely fantastic. First off, Screech. Awesome that we get a Screech. That right there. There's a point for him right off the bat. Fantastic. I love that right off the bat. Point 2. This Skeletor has an articulated jaw. He comes with a face, just one face, that's an articulated jaw. See that? It's closed. It's open. This Skeletor can dumb-face Skeletor or closed-faced Menace Skeletor anytime he wants. That is the first time I have ever seen this in Origins or in a line like this at all. That is amazing that is even a thing. And on top of it, this right here is what I was waiting for. That's box art Skeletor. That's why he's the color they chose to do. There's no doubt in my mind from this scene alone, he looks like he did on the cover of his box art. The original box art, he looked like that. And there he is. His color matches the box art. He's got Screech. This guy is so cool. That is so cool. This is an absolute buy. This is an absolute buy. Articulated mouth. Armor colored to match the original box art that I can remember from what I'm remembering seeing. He's got the sword. He's got the Master Sword right here. The Sword of He. He's got his Havoc Staff. He gets Screech. Screech gets battle armament, just like Zor got. This is cool. This is an absolute wicked set. And personally, I would take this Skeletor and the other Tila, and I would set them up as fighting. So that the two birds, you know what I'm talking about? That's perfect to me. That is so cool. This is so cool. This is an absolute buy. Then they got me with this one. I plan to buy this at the very least twice, possibly 3 different times. I want this. And I realize they're $32. And I realize that's crazy. I'm going to spend $100 in skeletons alone. But if I can do it, that's what I want to do. These guys are also versatile. Look, these are the skeleton warriors that I have wanted since I saw them on the back of the box art. Since I saw them on the Castle Grayskull box art, I've wanted these guys. They come with multiple weapons. So you could set them up in different kinds of ideas. They're skeletons, which is awesome. And I think their armor can be removed. So you could set up different variants. You could set up guys that have spears that are fully armored. You could set up guys that have swords and shields. You could set up guys that have simple swords. You could set up guys that have flails. You could set up guys that sometimes wear the armor and sometimes are open bare-chested. You could set up blue guys, silver guys, and they glow in the dark. So when you set the effect up, that's fantastic. Look, in a single pack, you get two. Okay, you could make one guy with a spear. You could make another guy with the halberd-esque crazy thing. You could make one guy with this flail. You could make one guy with the sword and shield. Another guy with a flail and a shield. You could do that. You could take this guy with this thing right here, this spear, which is kind of like a javelin-esque spear thing. And if he works right, you could buy a Panther, which are going on sale everywhere. Some of these places are trying to basically liquidate their stock. I've seen Panthers that are going out at like $10. Just please get them off the store shelf. Buy a couple Panthers and mount one or two of these skeleton guys so that they have spears that they can throw. And if you buy 3 packs, that's 3 spears, okay? So you could set one guy up to literally be holding a spear like this and set another guy. So there's one ground troop that has a spear. There's another guy that would have the spear like this, ready to throw it, while he's holding the halberd thing in this hand while he's charging on a Panther, on like a dark cat rider thing. Like, and that's just the spears. That's not including the guy that you put with a sword and a shield. The guy you put with a sword and a flail. The guy you put that's just holding the halberd thing standing. Like, this is really cool. This is really cool. These skeleton guys are fantastic. Let me see their backs. Okay, so I was about to say maybe you could have one guy with the spear that's on his back. Maybe you could slip that into that armor there if you don't care about it or whatever. You could have some of the skeletons that have armor, some of the skeletons that don't have armor. Some of these. This is amazing. These skeleton guys are absolutely fantastic. They are the absolute stars of the show. So let's recap the Origins run real quick, okay? Spikor, pretty solid. Not going out of my way to buy him. Squeeze, pretty cool. If I'm interested in army building the Snake Men, I'm going to buy at least one of them. Eternian Origins Guard Infiltrator, pretty cool, but only if you've already kind of built out a couple of the Eternian Guards. Otherwise, he's just an Eternian Guard with a green face. Origins Snake Man, Origins Snake Armor Man-at-Arms, pretty solid, but basically just a repaint. Origins Slamurai, the basically Storm Shadow of Masterverse, or of MOTU. He's okay. I'm not going out of my way to buy him. Origins Snake Trooper, I want at least one of these guys. Origins Snake Tila, pretty solid. I gave my reasons for why I would buy it, but I gave more than enough reasons why you should probably pass on it as well. Origins King Randor 2000X. Absolute. That's a buy. That's fantastic. Deluxe Dragon Blaster Skeletor. Absolute. That's a buy. That's fantastic. Snakeface. Absolute. Fantastic. Buy it. Origins Specialty Snake Men exclusive 4-pack. That's a buy. That's awesome. That blue guy alone justifies that buy. And the absolute stars of this entire line, personally, for me, Skeletor and Screech exclusive 2-pack, without a doubt, that I have to have. And the Origins Skeleton Warriors exclusive 2-pack, absolute, fantastic, bottom line. That's something I'm going to buy multiple times because I'm a putz. So, there we go. That was it. Yes. That was the entire release of Origins stuff, at least that I came across on Big Bad Toy Store, that's coming out here. And It's fantastic. I'm going to go in real quick, and before I get out of here, I will look at this picture to guarantee that what I'm telling you is true. Young King Randor, Snake Tila, Eternian Guard, Slamurai, Snake Man, okay, I didn't see the Rulers of the Sun 3-pack in there, but I will go ahead and comment on that real quick. The Rulers of the Sun 3-pack, I have no interest in that. Personally, it looks like a guy wearing pizza for armor and using a weird pizza sword. Not interested. The other guy looks like, the other guy that's in like yellow looks like a really sad, how do I put this? You remember Sparkman from Mega Man? That's what he reminds me of. The other dude, that's in white that has a bunch of like throwing star things or buzzsaws or whatever. I could live without him. So none of those three actually interest me like at all. I think they're goofy. I like Sunman, but some of the other figures that came out from Sunman's line, like I like Pigman, I like Sunman. Most of the others have not been interesting me mostly, in all honesty. There is a mini comics Manny Faces that also I did not get to cover on this episode. For what it's worth, he's pretty cool. And if I decided to have a Manny Faces in Origins, that would definitely be the one to buy. He looks superior to the other one that came out. There's a flocked Moss Man that's coming out as well, and he actually looks pretty cool, but I don't know 100% where I sit on that one. When he's got the mean face, he looks like an angry, cool, bestial enemy guy, and maybe that's pretty cool. But when he doesn't, he looks kind of goofy, and I get a kick out of him, and the flocked stuff is kind of cool. Maybe. I really don't know about this. There is also two bigger things to talk about coming down the road. There's a Snake Mountain, which will definitely be... I'll be buying Snake Mountain, so we'll definitely talk about that when I buy that, because there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to get one of those. And there's a Talon Fighter, Point Dread, which is pretty cool. And I'll probably also be looking into getting that so I can finish off the Origins Castle Grayskull, because it clicks onto the Origins Castle Grayskull, and then that's a pretty solid, pretty cool thing. So that's that in terms of all the Origins that we got coming out. I have to do another one of these videos where I'm going to talk about all the Masterverse MOTU that's coming out. But for right now, huge Masters of the Universe Origins drop. The stuff looks cool, and that's my entire take on it. My next video, I'll talk about the Masterverse. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from